Namaskar. I'm Dr. Sonali Naik. Today we are going to read the 13th chapter from Gajanan Vijay Granth. Before that, let us do a meditation. Sit quietly, close your eyes, focus your attention between your two eyebrows. See in your mind's eye, you are sitting at a very beautiful and a peaceful place. It is a seashore. Cool breeze is blowing. You can hear the beautiful music of the waves. You are at peace. You are very happy. You are meditating on Lord Rama. Lord Rama is standing in front of you. Seeing him, you are filled with happiness and peace. You bow to him. He blesses you with health, wealth, and happiness. The protective cover of his blessing surrounds you all your life. Within this protective cover, you are forever guided, forever prospered, forever loved, forever protected. Because of this, your life is filled with enthusiasm and happiness. Give thanks. Slowly open your eyes. Jai Gajanan. Shri Ganeshaya Nama. O Shri Hari, the Saint Supreme, ocean of kindness, beloved of Gop and Gopis. God Brahma came to steal cows and calves in Gokul, to have a fitful darshan of you. You turned yourself into those forms to please him. You killed Kaliya, serpent of the Yamuna river, to free the gopis of his menace forever. Likewise, crush my ignorance to rid me of my fears. Bankat, Hari, and Lakshman, Vittu, and Jagdev as one, went around collecting donations for the monastery of Sri Gajanan. While many devotees readily subscribed, some non believers criticized. Why should the saint need donations when he performs sensations? Why should he ask for money from others when he can get it straight from Kuber's coffers? Jagdev laughed at their mischief and said, the money we need is for your sake. Maharaj doesn't require a temple or a hood. The construction is for your own good. This universe is his monastery. Forests are his gardens of pleasant diversity. This earth is his bed of limitless spread. All the eight siddhis are awaiting his summons. His splendor is entirely beyond conception. How can a candle help the sun in diffusing darkness? How can a watchman surprise the king's glory? One pious deed is enough to fulfill your dreams. Remedies curing ills are futile for soul's esteem. Diseases threaten the body and not the spirit. Soul is eternal, it has no birth or demise. You have to accumulate good deeds and blessings to enjoy and protect your well being. If you consider your affluence as your body and bad habits as a malady, the disease can be removed indeed by performing pious deeds. Thus, build up piety to your credit with no apprehension in your mind. Sow seeds of good deeds to reap the benefit. Don't scatter seeds on a rocky surface. They will never sprout and will go to waste. Bad habits and thoughts are such spots. Seeds sown there will be eaten by roaches and ants. There is no piety like reverence to saints. Sri Gajanan today is a jewel amongst them. A donation to such a cause will multiply your credit. A seed sown in soil brings forth more yield. Similar is the effect of good charity. The critics were subdued by this advice. All arguments go haywire when confronted with facts and figures. Contributions were poured because of influential people. Ordinary folks cannot contribute such donations. A compound wall was soon built around the lot. People of Shegao gathered to help the cause. Bullock carts carried material for construction. Saint Gajanan watched them from his residence. He thought that the work may gather speed if he shifts to the site of the construction indeed. He jumped on a cart carrying sand. The driver stepped down as he was Mahar. Why so? Asked the saint. I don't care whether you are untouchable or an esquire. The Mahar said, it is not appropriate for me to sit next to a saint. Lord Hanuman was a devotee of Sri Rama. but never sat next to him at all. So be it, I don't object, said the saint. Oh bullock, just take the cart on the right trail. The bullock went as instructed and arrived at the designated spot. The cartman was walking ahead. The saint alighted from the cart and sat in the center of the plot where stands his monument today. This spot falls in between two survey numbers 43 and 45 of the lot. Construction with this as a center would mean encroachment on the outer piece of land. The trust was granted only 1 acre, but with such a situation, violation would occur. They did it as the collector had agreed to allot more after gauging how the work proceeds. Some mischievous element reported this to the government. Devotees were disturbed and informed the saint that an officer Joshi would inquire into the incident. Sri Gajanan Maharaj laughed and said that the fine imposed would be exempted. It came to be true. Joshi inspected the matter and waived the charges in his order. Hari Patil was especially happy. Words of Maharaj don't go in vain. Last time in a similar case, the saint had said, "Don't be afraid," and it did come true that I was saved. Similar incident has recurred today. His kind words don't go astray. They can never remain empty. Devotees from far and near gathered together at the saint's feet and offered prayers. Some incidents at the new monastery soon became noteworthy. A Gosavi named Ganga Bharti came from the village of Savdad in Mehkar Taluka. He suffered from leprosy and had scars all over his body. This disease had worn out his fingertips. His skin was red and suffered from an itch. He was totally tired of his sufferings. He heard of the saint and came for his blessings. Devotees did not allow him near the saint. This disease is contagious, as they said. They advised him to stay away, take a glimpse of the saint, and get out of the way. In spite of the warning, Ganga Bharti grabbed a timely opportunity, rushed to Maharaj to bow down to him as a last resort. Maharaj slapped him on his head, and as he got up, he got many slaps on his face. After this, Maharaj kicked him hard and spat on his body, diseased. Ganga Bharti took it as a blessing and spread the spittle as ointment dressing. Someone standing by criticized him and asked him to clean himself with a suggestion not to indulge in such blind faith again. He advised Ganga Bharti to take medicines instead of coming to a crazy man like this. Ganga Bharti smiled and said, "Nothing is impure with the saints. Musk will never release a reeking stench. What appeared to you as a saliva is an ointment for my skin. It smells like musk. If you so like, come touch and smell it. It appears to you thus as you don't need it. You don't understand the greatness of Maharaj. To prove what I say, let us go to the place where he takes his daily bath. Therefrom I take mud and anoint myself and watch what happens next." For Ganga Bharti it turned into an ointment. It remained as a mud in the critic's extent, making him realize the greatness of the saint. No one in the congregation allowed Ganga Bharti to sit near Gajanan. He had a melodious voice. He sang devotional songs of his choice. This continued for a fortnight, and then a miracle came to sight. The rash on skin had vanished. Earlobes returned to normal size. Cracks on the feet were all gone. Stench of the person was a thing of the past. He went on singing devotional songs which pleased the audience all day long. Anusuya, his wife, and his son Santosh came to Shigaon to take him home. "By the grace of the saint, you are cured," they said. "With his permission, let us go back to our village." Ganga Bharti said, "Don't pray to me. I no more belong to you, I swear. Maharaja has slapped me and brought me to my senses, saying that I shouldn't degrade the saffron robe I wear. I have a new vision to understand the strife. I desire to stay away from family life. Santosh, you better go home with your mother, obey her, and take good care of her. Be like Pundarika in serving her with love. That will bring you blessings from God, Vasudev. If I come back, the disease will catch me again, so refrain from forcing me in vain. Till now I belong to you, I agree, but from now on I'll devote myself to divinity, to free myself from the cycle of birth and death. This change in me is due to Maharaj's grace. Please don't tempt me anymore." Saying this, he sent them back to Saudat and stayed on in Shegaon since then, singing daily evening prayers, sitting before Maharaj and the followers. This was an enchantment for everyone. He was completely cured of his disease and then went to Malkapur as the saint wished. Once in the month of Paush, Jam Singh came to Shigaon and requested the saint to visit his village Mundaga. He reminded the saint of the promise made to visit his village. Accordingly, he had come to take him home. Maharaj went with him where a big crowd had gathered to greet him on the village outskirts. Jam Singh arranged a grand feast to celebrate the saint's visit. Mundagaon became the second Paitan where Eknath was treated with such a great aplomb. In the presence of Sri Gajanan, many visiting parties arranged bhajans. Cooks got busy making prasad for the devotees of Maharaj. When the preparations were halfway through, Maharaj halted the process through. Though saying Shamsing today is a void day, the 14th day of the waxing moon, better arrange the feeding tomorrow on the festival of full moon. Jam Singh said that the food was all set and devotees had gathered to participate in the feast. Maharaj said, what you say is correct in your own way, but this is not an appropriate day acceptable to God. Please obey. The food will go waste as I see. That's what you don't want it to be. You wish the events to go as per your desire, but it doesn't seem to be possible here. Even then, people squatted down for food. Suddenly, the sky changed its mood. Clouds gathered and poured rain, then a thunderstorm lashed again. Wind and lightning uprooted many trees, water went running as in streams. It came to the plate served for the day, and all the food was swept away. Jam Singh approached the saint and said, the devotees are all disappointed by these untimely rains. I hope this does not recur tomorrow. This is not our rainy season, we all know. It appears the storm lashed this region only to spoil the food preparation. Our crops may be destroyed by such precipitation. People will taunt me by asking, is this a reward your pity brings? The saint said it won't happen. The next day he just looked up at the clouds and they cleared. They all vanished and the sky was clear. Sun brightened up the entire atmosphere. Such was the supremacy of the saint's stay. Next day, the devotees enjoyed the fair. The tradition of feeding people on this day continues at Mundagaon even today. Jam Singh surrendered all his estate at the feet of the revered saint. Many residents of Mundagaon village became disciples of Gajanan the saint. Pundalik Bhokre was one amongst the people, a sturdy young man of principle. He was the only son of Ukirda, the farmer. The name Ukirda may sound peculiar. Such names are given to children to ensure their survival, as Pentaya in Telangana and Kerpunja in Maharashtra elsewhere. Pundalik visited Shegao on 11th day of the waning moon, like devotees visited Pandharpur, Arandi and Dehu. Once an epidemic of plague spread over Birar. People fled their houses and went to live on fields afar. The symptoms of the disease are that the patient shivers and then develops a very high temperature. His eyes become red in color, followed by a gland in the joint somewhere. The patient then loses his cognizance and finally succumbs to the infection. This was never a disease of our land. It prevailed over the European continent and traveled to India on a weird journey to soon infect our beloved country. People abandoned their houses and resided on fields to protect themselves. This killer disease invaded Mundagaon when Pundalik was to visit Shega. When he left for Shega with his father, he was feeling feverish with a shiver. After going 10 miles on the road, he could not walk anymore. A gland appeared in his armpit. He couldn't walk a step more on the street. His father was very much concerned and asked his son about this condition. Pundalik explained to him the state of affairs, his weakness, gland in the armpit, and high fever. Folding his hands, he prayed to the saint, O Gajanan, please see that my routine visit on the scheduled day is not disturbed a bit. Let me reach and touch your feet today, then I don't care if death takes me away. Please protect me till I reach you all the way. Visits to the shrines and holy places are possible only if the traveler is in good health. Looking at Pundalik's sick state, his father felt sorry immensely, prayed to God to save his only son, and offered a bullock cart to reach Shegaon soon. Pundalik replied, no, I must go on foot only. I'll make it walking slowly. He said, if I die, take my body to Shegaon. Don't worry about me at all. He walked a distance in great pain and reached the feet of the saint, and in front of him he fell prostrate looked at Pundalik, the saint pressed his own armpit with his hand and said, Pundalik, your malady is over. Don't now fret. When Maharaj said this, the gland in Pundalik's armpit suddenly vanished. The feeling of weakness also disappeared. When Maharaj ate morsels of food sent by his mother, Pundalik started feeling better. This was the reward of his devotions, a great example of for non-believers. Absolute devotion brings in desired results. Pundalik returned to Mundagaon after this visit. Reading about him will avert all your perils. This is a real biography and not a concoction. Everything narrated is what actually happened. There is no reason for anyone to doubt the blessings of Gajanan. May this treatise about the saint bring the readers all happiness.